Good morning, students. I am Professor Magda Slabbert. I am the module leader for LJU 4802, Professional Ethics for this year. We're going to send this YouTube links to you in 6 parts. You will note that there are 5 learning units, but the first one I'm going to address a few general comments. We will stop after each unit so that it is chunked and you need not look at all 6 over and over and over again. You can just choose the one where you have a problem and then you can go and watch that again. So I'm going to start with this first one as general. First of all, people find this subject a little bit difficult. You must remember that it is not the same as the law of contracts or the law of delict, because this is ethics. It's a little bit more vague. The answers are more grey. It is not necessarily black or white, but I warn you, you will have to study. Sometimes people take the study guide or they hear the topic and they hear it is ethics and then they think, but I know what is right or wrong, so I needn't study. And then at the end, when you come into the exam, you do not have enough facts to answer the questions. So first of all, before I start, you must make sure that you realize that we have these study guides. This one is the old one, not applicable for the exam anymore. This is your new study guide, and the exam paper will be based on this study guide. I say that specifically because there are students writing a supplementary or an aggregate or a special exam. You must use this study guide. All the material for the exam is in this study guide. We are 2 lecturers in this subject this year. It is myself and then Dr. Maureen Mswela has joined us. You will see her in Learning Unit 5. She's doing a small part this year because next year she will be the module leader and then she will take over from me. So I will do the first few parts and then you will meet her in the last part. Now a few administrative issues. The assignments and the exams. We cannot help you. If your assignment is submitted late and the university gives a general extension, then of course we accept it. But if you submit late, the system closes at a certain time, we cannot help you. It doesn't help that you contact us and beg us. The same with exams. Remember, you can buy your exam script. If you buy your exam script and you go through your study guide and you find there are problems, real problems, for example, a miscalculation, you can contact us and we can help. But we cannot help you to change the marks. We can never change the mark of an exam. If you're not satisfied, then you have to ask for an official remark, which is a completely different process. It goes to the University of the Free State, where an independent person will mark it. But we cannot change your marks. Only contact us when there's a real problem. Calculation or 1 mark has not been marked, and then of course we will be able to help. Let's see if I'm covering everything. Then also concerning the exam. There is a time limit. You only have 2 hours. You need to know your work, and as I go through the learning units, I will explain to you what I expect from an answer. You cannot waste time with unnecessary information because then you are going to run out of time. But the question paper is not tricky. We are not here to see how many we can fail. We are here to see how many we can pass. Therefore, the exam paper is straightforward, but you need to know your work in order to answer quite fast and not run out of time. Handwriting. Every semester that we have to mark these exam scripts, some of you have the ugliest, the unreadable handwriting. And that is a problem. Remember, we are just human beings, so if we cannot read, if we cannot see what you answer, then we just don't mark it. So be careful, although there is a time limit. Try and write as neat as possible. Chunk your work, have paragraphs so that you help us to see that you actually know the answer and we can award the marks. Look at the marks allocated to each question. We cannot just give marks. We need to make ticks. And for every tick, you get a mark. So if the question is 20 marks, we need 20 facts. If the question is 30 marks, we need 30 facts. If it is 5 marks, we need 5 facts. So make sure you give us the information in order to mark. Speaking of marks, when you buy your exam script and you calculate the ticks, sometimes the ticks will be less than the mark given. For example, a question out of 20, you will only count 11 ticks, yet the examiner gave you 16 marks. That is perfectly fine, because then the examiner the marker used his or her discretion and thought that even though you did not give all the facts, he or she can see you know all the work and therefore give you more than the ticks. The problem is when the mark given are less than the ticks. Then it is reason to contact us and we can investigate and see what went wrong. Okay, let's see. Another thing, yes, the Legal Practice Act. The Legal Practice Act was promulgated last year. The Legal Practice Council is now more or less in place, but it will take some time to sort these things out. Now you will see in the study guide, we address the Legal Practice Act, small part, I will come to that, but we still speak about the Attorneys Act and the Admission of Advocates Act. Therefore, in the exams, you have two choices. You can either still answer the Attorneys Act and the Admission of Advocates Act, and that will be correct. If you want to, you can add what the Legal Practice Act is saying on the topic, and that will be excellent, and that will also earn you marks. But we will not penalize you if you do not add that the Legal Practice Act is now in force, because we're in the interim phase and I apologize for that. So just keep that in mind. If you're not clear, send us an email, ask us. Ask us before the exams. After the exams, we can do nothing to help you. Let's see, yes, and then previous exam papers. It is always worthwhile looking at previous exam papers. You will see that we constantly ask the questions more or less the same. You have a longer question, you have medium questions, 10 marks, 15 marks, and then you have some shorter questions of 5 marks, 3 marks, in that vicinity. So look at previous exam papers. But I warn you, it is not enough just to work out previous exam papers, and maybe as a little bit of an extra, because you are watching this YouTube video, one of the longer questions has never been asked, so be warned. One of the longer questions has never been asked. It is a completely new question in this exam paper of 2019. All over, know your study guide. You can see it's not a thick guide. We do not expect too much of you. If you know your work, you can easily get a distinction, and we are proud to say that we got numerous distinctions in the previous semester. Okay, this concludes the first part, which is basically an introduction, and now we're going to stop here, and a new link will take you to Learning Unit 1. Thank you.